Tonight on NewsVision, the University of Miami hosts its first ever international short film festival with movies from more than a dozen countries.
We were really happy when we heard that we're going to have the whole day for our films.
Plus, 4 Miami-Dade County police officers lace up their sneakers to run the Miami Marathon to honor and remember a fallen friend.
Etchi was a very, very humble person.
And one UM women's basketball player is shining on the court this season after almost having the game taken away from her forever.
I couldn't even run. Some days I couldn't even jump. So it was just like, how am I able to play basketball without those abilities?
These stories and a lot more coming up tonight on NewsVision.
Good evening and welcome to the first episode of NewsVision this semester. I'm Cal Friedman.
And I'm Sophia Patello. Thank you for joining us. This past weekend, UM students, faculty, and staff had the chance to screen dozens of short movies from 26 countries at the inaugural Shorts International Miami Festival. But on Sunday, one nation took center stage. Reporter and executive producer Embrick Isles has the story.
This weekend, UM students and staff watched films from over 24 countries. But on Sunday, one nation took center stage.
Personally, I don't know much about Serbia at all. And it was just very cool to see films from, just a place that's so far from where we are.
As a part of a film exchange program with UM, 7 films made by students at the University of Arts in Belgrade, Serbia, were played at the Cosford Cinema.
We were really happy when we heard that we're going to have the whole day for our films. And it's really an honor.
Characters in the films face familiar challenges, but filmmakers took different approaches when telling their stories.
It was cool that a lot of them touched on like similar themes that you would see here, but also some of them, like One Tonight talked about their healthcare system, which they deal with some different problems than we have here.
And I feel like American films is much more tailored towards how the audience perceives something, or, making it convenient for the audience.
While Serbian films may be different to Americans, Zorana says that most storytellers have the same goals.
Making the movies about love, about relationships, about revenge, about betrayal. Those are the universal themes that interests us all. So.
Even though the festival is over, Siri thinks that this festival is the beginning of something special.
No, but I think it could really grow into something really cool for the university and the school to have. And especially, being in Miami, it's a very international city, especially as far as the States goes.
In June, students and staff from UM will travel to Belgrade, Serbia to showcase their own films, and professors will teach a masterclass to University of Arts students. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Embrick Isles.
Embrick, thank you. Also this last weekend, musicians, dancers, chefs, and artists from all over the Caribbean brought a new energy to Griffin Park in North Miami. The second annual Caribe Arts Fest, hosted by the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, celebrates the cultural diversity in Miami. Local vendors showcased homemade art pieces, and local food trucks offered a diverse menu.
We're the next generation that's just keeping it going. So it means everything to me to put on for my culture, for Haiti, and also to show the beauty in voodoo and remove the stigma, work at removing the stigma about it.
The festival was a success for the second year in a row. So the North Miami and Latin American communities are hoping to keep this cultural tradition going for years to come.
And we are now a week into Black History Month, and celebrations of Black culture and heritage, are in full effect here at the University of Miami. Earlier this week, UM hosted its annual hair show in the Shalala Student Center. The event was organized by Hairology, which is an on-campus organization dedicated to highlighting Black hairstyles and culture. The Heritage Showcase featured a performance by the Hurricane Steppers, hair braiding masterclasses, food, a photo booth, and even beauty supplies and products for attendees to purchase.
All of you look so nice with your hairstyles, and I'm hoping
Every hairstyle featured at the show was designed and completed by students hairstylists at UM. Hairology aims to educate all UM students on the history of Black heritage. There are more Black History Month events planned at UM. The next event is an art exhibit called Afrofuturism at the Lakeside Pavilion. That will open tomorrow at 6:30.
Another event to celebrate Black History Month on campus was the 6th annual Students of Color Symposium over the weekend. This year, the theme of the event was Mental Health is Mental Wealth. Throughout the day, a variety of guest speakers and panelists shared with their own experiences with mental health and how they were able to overcome the stigma. Author and keynote speaker Alex L. had some personal advice for students.
Find the thing that lights you up and lean into that, and don't let anyone silence what lights you up.
Other activities at the event included a session led by a herbalist, where students could create their own essential oil blend and learn about the benefits of each herb.
Just 40 miles from downtown Miami nightlife lies a slice of Western culture. Last weekend was the 74th annual Homestead Championship Rodeo. Reporter and NewsVision director Anna Kuhn went down to Homestead to check it out.
30 years ago, Todd Hartwick could ride a bull like no other. Now he's a local business owner, but once a year, he still finds his way back to his cowboy roots at the Homestead Rodeo.
These cowboys, this stock, this is America. This is original stuff. This is the greatest sport on dirt.
Here we go. Let's try it again.
Todd is one of many people who volunteered to organize the 74th Annual Rodeo, an event dedicated to the love of all things equestrian, and one of the oldest annual professional sporting events in Miami-Dade.
We're bigger and better every single year.
The rodeo features 3 days of barrel racing, bronc riding, steer wrestling, and more. But it wasn't all about having fun.
The Friday night events at the Homestead Rodeo were for more than just some prize money and a shiny new belt buckle. These cowboys were riding in style, sporting pink to support breast cancer awareness.
We call the event Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And what we basically do is we challenge all the macho men around town to put on their pink shirts and come out here to this rodeo.
It's pretty great because I have a couple people from my family that actually went through it.
The riders compete for prizes up to $3,000, but the real prize went to breast cancer research. The rodeo spent all night raising money for the Susan G. Komen Foundation for the Cure.
I think it's amazing for all the women that have breast cancer and that have survived it.
And it was all thanks to cowboys like Todd, who were tough enough to wear pink.
For UMTV, I'm Anna Kuhn.
Anna, thank you. Florida state lawmakers are moving forward with a bill to take over the special taxing district around Disney's Florida theme parks. The bill makes several changes to the Reedy Creek Improvement District. That's the 55-year-old government body that effectively gave Disney control over the land around its Orlando area properties. The district's existing board is made up of individuals with close ties to the entertainment giant. The bill would replace those 5 members with hand-picked people by Governor Ron DeSantis. However, the legislation clarifies that the board can continue its special taxing and borrowing authority.
The board are not employees of Disney. They're not employees of another theme park or in the entertainment industry. I think we've done well to make sure that it's a transparent board and a board that will listen.
Efforts from DeSantis to put a stop to Reedy Creek have been ongoing since Disney's negative response to his so-called Don't Say Gay law.
And more news involving Disney. The company has joined a growing list of companies that are cutting jobs. The company announced yesterday it would cut 7,000 jobs from its global workforce. That represents about 3% of its global workforce. Disney CEO Bob Iger says the move is necessary to address challenges they're facing. He says Disney is aiming for $5.5 billion of cost savings across the company.
A Florida school district has pulled nearly 24 of its books from libraries. This comes after the state mandated that school districts review the materials allowed in their libraries and classrooms. St. Johns County leaders will be reviewing school libraries. In a workshop, they released the guidelines which listed specific content that's not allowed in each grade level. But the guide also says that that list isn't all-inclusive, and media specialists will use professional judgment to determine what is allowed as well. The district emphasized for specialists to play it safe if they're not sure about a title, because if an employee does break the book policy, they will face a felony charge. Currently, 90 books have gone through that review process, and of those reviewed, 20 books are marked as pending, meaning they've gotten a complaint but are still available as they're being reviewed. 14 books were listed as retained, meaning they were reviewed by specialists and deemed to be okay. 7 books were restricted to certain age groups, and 23 books were removed, so they will not be allowed in any St. Johns County school.
But to me, it's just a bigger or another example of the politicalization of our school system, especially in the state of Florida.
Now, St. Johns County Schools superintendent says they will be getting data from specialists to see how often the books are under review, are checked out. He says the books currently under review have only been checked out once or twice since they were on the shelves.
It's time for a short break now, but coming up next, 4 Miami-Dade County police officers trained for months to honor a friend who never got the chance to run in the Miami Marathon. Stay with us.
Owen, let's talk for a second.
Hi, Owen. Come on in.
When you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
It'll come to you.
It won't.
We had a lot to learn about each other. A lot. Hey, looks good. Things were changing so quickly. We didn't know what the future would hold. Any of us. I just wish you felt more at home now. But we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. President Biden has faced a tough crowd on Tuesday night at his second State of the Union address. Still, he insisted lawmakers work together. The president laid out his vision for the next 2 years in office. The U.S. economy, COVID-19 pandemic, and foreign policy were some of the topics addressed on Tuesday night. As many Republicans heckled and booed the president, Biden argued the U.S. economy has made a turnaround and the COVID-19 pandemic is in the rearview mirror. Many experts see the address as an unofficial starting point to his expected second campaign to seek a second term in office.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. Look.
Today, the president is in Tampa, Florida on his post-State of the Union tour, where he is traveling to swing states. He's visiting to speak on protected Social Security and Medicare against Florida Republican politicians. Republicans say they could seek budget cuts for these two programs in exchange for raising the debt ceiling.
And we have new information about the Memphis police officers charged in Tyree Nichols' death. It's been revealed in disciplinary documents. Those documents reveal critical unprofessional conduct of 5 Memphis police officers. 3 of the officers did not have their body cams on, and the other 2 turned off their body cams during the incident. The document also revealed that one officer took a photo of a bloodied Nichols and sent it to at least 6 other people. President Biden invited Nichols' family to the State of the Union address and called for Congress to come together and pass legislation for police reform.
I think that Congress needs to get together, both parties, and get this bill passed so that no one else has to suffer the way we are suffering right now.
The 5 officers have all been charged with second-degree murder, and they are currently out free on bail.
And here in Miami, protesters gathered at Bayfront Park to honor the life of Tyree Nichols last weekend. The event was attended by family and friends as a tribute to their memories and a call for justice. For 2 hours, community leaders and protesters said politicians must do more to strengthen civil rights, with attendees holding up signs saying police forces and state governments across the country are weak. During the protest, Miami-Dade County police were at Bayfront Park, leading many to say policing of black men and women in America must be reformed.
Today we stand to do something, to let the world know that we will not tolerate the injustice against black men and women. We will not accept another.
The event ended with a silent candlelight vigil, and parents of local police brutality victims saying everyone deserves to have their story told and that Nichols' death hits too close to home.
The Miami Marathon brings runners from Miami and beyond, and with the race honoring South Florida first responders, one group had a certain colleague in mind. Reporter Wyatt Kopelman has the story.
Where are my first-timers? For Cesar Echeverri, running was a way to disconnect and recharge. Last year, the Miami-Dade County Police Detective started training to run his first marathon. But Echeverri would never get the chance to fulfill his dream of running in his hometown's marathon.
Etchie was a very, very humble person. Anyone that knew him knew that. He was a man of very few words. He didn't speak a lot, but when he spoke, everyone listened. I always knew if what I was saying was the right thing when you look at Etchie, and you would get like that half smile he would give and that little nod.
On August 15th, 2022, Etchie responded to a robbery in Liberty City. Etchie immediately saw the suspect's car, chased after it, and moments later, 2 bullets hit Etchie in the chest. The robbery task force detective was raced to the hospital where he died 2 days later. And just a few months after their friend's death, 4 of his colleagues laced up their sneakers in honor of their fallen friend.
I think the most amazing part was how many people recognized the robbery intervention detail and knew Etchie's story because we were wearing our unit shirts as we were running.
I think part of healing and part of dealing and understanding and just coping isn't something you can hit a light switch and just completely get over from one second to the next, much like training. So I think they run parallels, and that's why I think you find them in marathons.
For 3 months, the detectives trained 4 days a week to prepare for January's Miami Marathon. Their dedication and desire to honor a fallen friend served as a reminder of the dedication needed to protect a community.
One of the hardest things is keeping that discipline and keeping that physical fitness as a top priority. And I think Etchie did that for sure. And he's definitely an example for anybody in law enforcement, a guy with 6 months on the job or a guy with 25 years on the job.
We always try to memorialize those that have fallen in the line of duty in any way possible. This was just one of plenty of events that he will be remembered through his department and through neighboring departments and assistants.
Etchie never got the chance to run a marathon, but his impact and service to the community will never be forgotten. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
Thank you, Wyatt. More than 21,000 people are dead after 2 earthquakes devastated Turkey and Syria on Monday. Many more are injured or still missing. The 2 earthquakes happened within 8 hours of each other. One was a magnitude of 7.5 and the other was 7.8, causing major damage across both countries. Research and rescue teams are still looking for survivors trapped under the rubble.
It's a very difficult task for us. We need help. We need the international community to do something to help us, to support us. Northwest Syria now, it's a disaster area. We need help from everyone to save our people.
6 United Nations trucks applied with supplies made their way into Syria today, but the aid may have been too late for many. Rescue teams are battling freezing temperatures, snow, and damaged roads. The death toll is expected to rise as the searches continue. Most of the country has been dealing with freezing temperatures and record snow lately, which makes me happy to be in Miami this time of year.
I know, I feel the same way, but last weekend it was cold and rainy, and I want to go to the beach, so I'm hoping for some better news from our meteorologist, Quinn Davidson. Please tell me something good.
The good news is you should definitely be able to hit the beach either today, tomorrow, over the next few days, but not by Sunday. We will have a cold front coming into our region. But taking a look at South Florida right now, we are quite comfortable sitting at 77 here in Miami, 78 in Key West. In fact, today it was so hot in Key West, it tied a record high temperature of 84 degrees set back in 1927. So very hot, very dry, but that is certainly not the case for most of the country. We do see places like Denver still in the 20s, in the 30s in Rapid City, and we are the warmest place in the country, just above Los Angeles, so why else do we live here in Miami? Looking at our futurecast, we see that low pressure system this weekend with a cold front that is stringing down into the southeastern portion of the United States, and this is what is going to be impacting our weather this weekend. We will have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms on Saturday as that cold front begins its approachment, but as it does make its passage through Miami, that is when we will see the most rain and storms chance. Looking at our iguana cast, because after this cold front moves in, we are going to be experiencing some pretty chilly overnight lows. On Sunday, forecasted to be 54 degrees by the morning time. So definitely just making sure no iguanas are going to be falling out of the trees. So it does not seem as if that will be happening this time around. So very good news on that part. And looking at tonight's forecast, 72 degrees, mostly clear conditions. Tomorrow, a beautiful day, 81 degrees, mostly sunny, and an absolutely warm day. Definitely head outside and get a nice breath of fresh air. And looking at our 7-day forecast, temperatures are remaining relatively above normal, except for that cold front coming in on Sunday, which is going to bring those temperatures down a bit cooler. But by the time we head to Valentine's Day, what a lovely day. We got lovely sun and lovely temperatures. To sports.
Thank you, Quinn. Coming up on NewsVision, I will tell you about all things Canes basketball. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, baby? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Wyatt Kopelman. Mario Cristobal and Miami are looking forward to spring practices starting next month. But changes are coming to the team's coaching staff before spring football. According to ESPN, co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach Charlie Strong has left Miami to take the same coaching position at the University of Alabama. Strong joins former Miami defensive coordinator Kevin Steele at Alabama, where Strong and Steele will be co-DCs in Tuscaloosa. Now over to Miami men's basketball. The Canes came into Monday night's matchup undefeated at the Watsco Center this year and were looking to get revenge against ACC powerhouse Duke. Let's go over to a sold-out Watsco Center to check out the highlights. Deep into the first half, turnover, Wooga Poplar slam dunk the Philadelphia native, giving Miami that early boost it needed against Duke. Miami led 13-1 to start off this game. How about an alley-oop and a hammer from the Arkansas State transfer in Norchad Omier to close out the first half? Omier led Miami with 17 points and 10 rebounds. Pack had a feast himself. 6 assists to lead Miami. How about a backdoor feed for Harlan Beverly, the veteran guard of Detroit, Michigan, all the way from Norchad Omier. Miami rolling in the second half, and it only got worse for the Duke Blue Devils, who never led in this game. Omier flushing another one home, and Duke needed it. Just another break at this point. Miami continued to steamroll. Derek Lively quiet in this one. Anthony Walker, big flush that time. The Hurricanes continue to roll to a 19-5 overall record on the season. Bensley Joseph adding the exclamation mark on this one. Little crossover dribble, step back. Miami got it done. Now over to women's basketball. Unlike the men, Coach Katie Meyer and her team have been struggling to draw in a crowd this season. But this week, the Canes announced an exciting giveaway for tonight's game versus rival Florida State. Lead reporter Daryl Barnes is live at the Watsco Center with the latest. Daryl, what exactly did the team do differently this week? And more importantly, did it work?
Hey, Wyatt, the Canes women's team was having some fun, put out all the tricks in their book to try and get some fans out to tonight's game against FSU. I mean, Coach Katie Meyer, in front of that big sold-out men's basketball crowd on Monday, she announced on the Jumbotron that she would give away a free PS5 and an Xbox to 2 students who pulled up to tonight's game. And then on top of that, the Kavanagh twins, who, keep in mind, they have the most followers on TikTok out of anyone in college women's basketball. They went on TikTok, posted, trying to get fans to come out to tonight's game. Now, the real question is, yes, why? Did it work? And we have some video from pregame inside, and it looks like only about 20 students really pulled out to the game, but some of them are a little encouraged because that means they have a 1 in 10 chance again coming home with a new gaming console. But in terms of the actual game, the Canes in a tight one, down 6 going into the 4th quarter. So for now, I'm gonna send it back to you guys. Cal has more on this women's team.
Thank you, Daryl. On the topic of Miami women's basketball, for one star, the journey back to the court was kept discreet to outsiders and those close to the team until now. I sat down with Destiny Harden to talk about her return to the game she loves most. For forward Destiny Harden, playing basketball at the University of Miami is a blessing that was almost taken away from her.
No, it was a challenge for sure. Someday.
Before the start of the 2021 season, Harden suffered a serious knee injury that had doctors and Destiny fearing the worst.
Some days I didn't even know if I was able to play basketball again, you know, like I couldn't even run. Some days I couldn't even jump. So it's just like how I'm able to play basketball without those abilities. So
with tip-off just around the corner, Harden wanted to put the team first.
Coach said that for a while she didn't even disclose the injury to the team. Is that true?
Yeah.
Harden's teammates and coaches knew she couldn't suit up for games, but the question was if she would return to the court, leaving even the people closest to Harden completely in the dark.
I never really wanted them to know that, oh, I'm going through something, because at the end of the day, they had games to win, and my hard times shouldn't be their hard times, you know.
But she had to take a lot of it on herself, and I really admired that from her.
Harden spent the first half of last season sat here on the bench while her team struggled through the first half. But when she stepped on the court in the second half, the energy changed.
She was just so excited to play. So just seeing her happy, being able to play the game she loves, was so lifting for all of us.
Harden has been Miami's second leading scorer since returning. Coach Katie Meyer described Harden as everyone's favorite teammate, and playing for her teammates is exactly what Harden loves.
Being able to, you know, play with them, win with them, and play for them, it means everything. Miami has turned me into a better person.
For forward Destiny Harden, playing basketball at the University of Miami is a blessing this graduate student will remember for the rest of her life.
Great job with that story, Cal. Such a good comeback piece.
Thank you, Thea. Hopefully Destiny and the Hurricanes can come back to beat the Knowles tonight.
And coming up, guys, it's National Pizza Day, and we'll tell you where to grab all those yummy little deals. Stay with us.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
And finally, there's an excuse to treat yourself today to one of America's favorite foods. It's National Pizza Day, which is celebrated every year on February 9th. The nation's first pizzeria is believed to be Lombardi's, which is in New York, opening in 1905. And if you're looking to celebrate the holiday in Miami, Domino's is offering any two menu items for $7 each. 7-Eleven is offering loyalty members a whole pizza for $7. And CiCi's Pizza has a buy one, get one deal on its large topping pizzas.
I'm just wondering why I haven't heard anything from Miami's Best. Please, like, that's the one place that we love in Miami. Why is there not one single deal?
It's right down the road. Should we get some after this?
I mean, I'm supposed to go get crabs.
No, we can treat ourselves today.
I'm a seafood girl, but yeah, I'm Italian. I should be eating pizza.
That's fair. And that's it for this edition of NewsVision. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
We'll be back at the same time next week. Have a great night and stay safe.